Some people might say if he was a fascist, you wouldn't be able to have this kind of demonstration and speaking out against him in such a public way. What would be your take on that?
I'm Antifa. I am anti-fascism. My father fought in World War II. There's lots of military people in my family. I am Antifa. But there's no membership. There's no dues. I'm not paid by anybody. Everybody here is Antifa. We believe in the Constitution. Trump doesn't believe in the Constitution.
Supporters of Trump, you've probably heard say, well, if he is a fascist, like you guys are saying he is, you wouldn't be able to have this open expression out here, protesting him, calling him a fascist.
Right,
What's your response?
Well, of course we can now because he hasn't completely broken everything yet. But the goal is for us not to be able to do this. And the goal is that people say, oh, what he's doing is illegal, but as long as he's remaking the laws, whatever he says will be legal. So there will be no legal protections for anyone. But for the time, that's why this is so important now to do this while there's still a chance to save it, because like this morning we walked through the congressional offices and talked face to face to staff members, but if he gets what he wants, we won't be able to do that. And we won't be able to protest here anymore. So this is the moment. Yeah, we still can protest. They're not firing on us yet, but they will eventually if we don't stop this.
You actually think it would get that bad?
It will get that bad if we let it. Of course it will. That's the playbook is taken from Hungary, China, Russia, and the Nazis. It's a compilation that's custom made for this country. They put it all out in 2025. Project 2025.
What we're seeing is a dictatorship. It's tyranny. I think it is so ironic that people were afraid of communism in voting for Kamala Harris, when in fact the very communism, the USSR-style communism, is living right there. It's tyranny, it is totalitarianism, and we have to do something. It's unacceptable.
Now, critics might say, look, you're out here, protesting against Trump. If he were really a fascist, you wouldn't be allowed to have this free expression against him. What would be your response?
Yeah, it's because I look like this, and I speak like this. There are a lot of people that are afraid to come out right now for many reasons, okay? Their immigration status, their race, their employment, okay? People are living in fear right now, so that's already happening here.
You're not paying attention to the fact that, yes, they have not yet fully consolidated fascism. They've not fully consolidated it, which means that there's still some blocking of some of his measures by the courts, the federal courts. All of this is reaching the Supreme Court, which is an illegitimate court. They refused Barack Obama's nomination of Garland. They then stacked the court with people who are in various forms part of this MAGA movement. And so that once it gets to the Supreme Court, they ratify these measures. Then what happens? It's the law of the land until this MAGA Congress decides to overturn Trump, which they are not going to do. He just even forced out Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Now, some people, might look at this and say, if he was a fascist, indeed, in the true sense, you wouldn't be able to have this public display and speak out against him in those terms. What would be your response?
We have to look to the future, and slowly but surely we're losing what our democracy has been, and we have to look at what we're becoming.
What's your response to that?
Fascists never take over immediately. It took Hitler time, took Mussolini time, and any other authoritarians, whether we call them fascists or not, they worked their way in mostly. They had to break down the systems. The systems didn't fail last time. They faltered. But now look, he's openly calling for the death of our politicians. That means we're next.
What would be your response to that?
I would say to the Republicans to put country over party. They see the same thing that we see. They know that this isn't normal. He's putting his finger in the faces of journalists, correspondents, saying, quiet piggy, he's having meltdowns. He doesn't have the temperament to be president. He's clearly unwell. They know that, and they need to do the right thing.
What's your take on that?
So, he was elected Democratic, but at the moment that he refused to follow orders from judges and he denied due process to people, to immigrants. And when he called them that these are not people, these are animals. Those are things that dictators do, and that's a fascist government, a fascist system. He became a fascist at the moment that he stopped denying people their rights.